65 degrees at just about 7 a.m. on Thursday, June 13th. Same weather instruments I had growing up. Dad put them all up, and everyone says, Dad, why'd you put south on top and north on the bottom? He says, well, we face south, so it made sense to him. Air is just very light, pretty much calm, but the direction finder did say from the southwest, which is the warmer weather direction. So we're finally warming up the atmosphere, and look at this, not a cloud in the sky. That tree I talked so much about may be coming down. More on that as we get through the month. There's Fallens Pond, Bass River, and weather instruments I grew up with, including this barometer. I don't think it functions as well as it used to, but it's up around 30 inches. So the barometer is rising, and we finally had a cool morning. I mean, it's been comfortable, but this morning we got into the 40s, 48 degrees this morning in Pittsfield and Orange with a dew point in the mid 40s. This is the driest and coolest morning of the week, even though we've been in a cold air mass. It's been cold up in the sky and not as cold down near the ground. I call that low barometer cold. And you look at the map this morning, satellite image, beautiful. It's a little patchy fog, which you'd expect on a morning with an inversion, which what happens in high barometer cold when you get radiational cooling. The air mass decouples, the wind goes light, and the cooler air settles into the lower elevations. And that's why we have a mostly clear sky. The summit of Mount Washington, not in the 30s, in the 40s. And you can see the inversion at 4,200 feet, it's in the 50s. And down at the base at Pinkham Notch, 1,600 feet, it's in the 40s. So there's the inversion. That mixes out and it turns into just a gorgeous Thursday. Probably the nicest Thursday we've had in some time. Nice low dew point. Paint drying overnight. I painted that at sunset yesterday. And there is a dew. There's quite a bit of dew. You can see it heavy on the car down there. And that's what happens with radiational cooling. The air cools to the dew point, and it is not a bad day for washing windows. That's what's going to happen today. The pollen season has gone by, and it's still comfortably cool. Looks like a gorgeous Thursday for most of New England. Yet the surface map, look at this surface map from just before the sun came up. Little 1014 low showing up on the Maine coast, and that low, my lenses now, audio is messed up. That low is, this is a very localized sort of leftover from all these days of upper level, low pressure, cool pool aloft. Max on the Vineyard says, what is that cool pool aloft and what causes that? And I said, well, these upper level lows, like every other weather event, is a result of differential heating of the Earth's surface by the sun. For example, look right down there. You see that tree, that nice old huge Christmas tree, and where the sun's hitting the side of the house, right there, right now, that is warming up very quickly, and that air is beginning to rise, while in the cooler shaded area here, the air is actually going to sink and fall down the hill and go up right there. So the air kind of is going to come down where it's colder and then go up where it's warmer. Well, just think of the entire Earth. It's colder at the North Pole. That air is going to go down. It's warmer at the equator, and that air is going to go up. And it's just a huge circulation. The Earth is spinning out from underneath it. That's why the weather systems, air moves from high pressure to low pressure, spinning toward the right in the northern hemisphere, and turn it all upside down in the southern hemisphere. Anyhow, thanks for asking. And also Don commenting on the audio not being so good. I know the audio is a work in progress. I turned off the stereo function, hoping that only one microphone on the camera would work, and I'm not wearing a headphone this morning, hoping that that microphone's not interfering, just trying to narrow it down to one microphone. And also, it's early in the day when I do these things, so I try not to wake up the neighborhood. Let's go from the original house that we grew up in and to the next house my parents built as an investment, and Kevin has now. And we'll look at the cod, and I can talk a little louder over here, I think. So the forecast is fairly straightforward today, finally. We have one easy day as we've lost the cool pool aloft, just a few instability clouds, and just a gorgeous Thursday with the temperature getting up into the 70s, maybe touching 80 in a few spots. Nice recovery from the mid 40s in spots. And then a front's getting close tomorrow. We have a new cold air mass, not real cold, but chilly air mass coming at us. There's John. I always have to disturb somebody. And there is more traffic. It's hard to get away. The front that's coming in tomorrow is going to have a lot of thunderstorms with it. It's pretty complicated. How should I talk about this in the correct order? How about if we start in the Gulf of Mexico, because it does play a role in our forecast, and we saw all the hype about possible month or even years worth of rain for parts of South Florida. The guidance a few days ago, including the National Weather Service, was forecasting more than 15 inches of rain near Tampa. And I went and looked, and guess how much rain's fallen in Tampa? Just 3.5 inches so far. And in Naples, even further to the south, also was a forecast of more than a foot of rain. Only 2.27 inches have fallen. So it's not a year's worth of rain, not 10 months worth of rain, not even 1 month's worth of rain so far. Is that going to verify? Well, let's go to the Gulf of Mexico forecast map, and you can see the rains in Florida continue, but mostly are going to go off to the east and break, and one part's going to go to the west. So that front is sort of decaying, and some of the moisture is going to go towards the coast of Mexico. A couple days ago, it looked like it was going towards Texas. Well, that's totally changed. The forecast was for 8 inches of rain in Corpus Christi, Texas. Now it's more like maybe it'll rain a little bit, and it's the Mexico coast. And then we have something, look at that, cyclogenesis in the Gulf of Mexico. There may be a tropical storm, a named storm in the Gulf of Mexico in 5 to 10 days. Now, this is not only just the Euro. The National Hurricane Center has also shaded that area in orange with a 40% probability of tropical cyclone development. So we may be tracking the first named storm of the season, and it may be just sort of spinning in the Gulf of Mexico, may end up coming back over Florida sometime in about 10 to 14 days. So that's something to watch. Anyhow, now let's go to a different sector. I want to show you what happens to that low that's going off Florida. This one that has a slight chance, minimal chance of becoming a tropical storm. It looks like one, though, doesn't it? Taking off between Bermuda and Nantucket, kind of taking a swipe almost at New England, and then joining up with our front and going into or paralleling the coast of Nova Scotia into Newfoundland as the weekend goes on. That's a just miss for New England. Another shot over the bow. All right, now let's get to New England. 7 minutes in. Sorry. All right, here's the NAM. That's the high-res NAM, and it shows the front coming into northern New England tomorrow with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then it kind of breaks up, and then tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, another batch comes right across southern New England, and then there's that storm going just south of Nantucket. Wow, that's a close call. Anyhow, there's some really heavy weather in there, and the Severe Storm Prediction Center says there's a pretty good chance that we'll see some severe weather, and that may mean damaging wind gusts and some hail with these storms. And if you look at the QPF, Quantitative Precipitation Forecast, also from the NAM, it shows the mustard color over the Pioneer Valley. That's a crazy amount of rain in a very short time, with possible training storms late tomorrow night. And now it looks like it lingers into a bit of Saturday also. And you add that up and look at this. I'll put a number there. I put the cursor right over the Pioneer Valley. 7.5 inches? No way. But you get the point. Somebody is going to end up with flash flooding late tomorrow night. And you can't exactly go verbatim where these stripes are. These stripes could jog south or north. And anyhow, the least amount of rain looks like it's going to fall right over Plymouth County and get the Canadian border. Now, Plymouth County and the Canadian border is where the most rain has been over the last 4 weeks. So areas that have had the least amount of rain over the last 4 weeks are forecast to get the most amount of rain in the next 2 days. So that's pretty cool. And then the high pressure comes in. Let's go to the Euro. I know this is a long one. I didn't want to be long today, but there's so much I like to talk about. The Euro says that front is gone by Saturday midday. May still be showery in eastern New England with a pop-up shower in the afternoon. So Saturday not as clean as it looked before. And then Saturday night, big, beautiful moon, clear sky, dew point in the 30s and 40s. Temperatures on Sunday morning in the 30s and 40s in the normal cold spots. The urban areas and coastal areas will probably more in the 50s to near 60. And then Sunday turns into a gorgeous day with light winds. And Sunday, people get married on Sundays. I know I got married. That's my anniversary. And we'll be celebrating going out a different door on Sunday. And then that little perturbation coming across the Midwest we talked about yesterday. It looks like it's going to kind of fall apart on Monday night and Tuesday. And now we are in the warm to hot air with a thickness of 570 to 576. That's temperature 90 to 96, and it gets even a little warmer than that and through midweek. And then the front starts pressing in a little bit on Friday and Saturday of next weekend we may end up with another round of strong thunderstorms. It has been Thursday and Friday for the days of these fronts historically over the last 6 weeks, and this is really the nicest Thursday we've had maybe of the entire year. I'm not going to go and try and verify all that, but the Sterling, Massachusetts 14-day, that shaded area now goes over 100. It's a more narrow shade now. When I talk about the shaded area, that's the ensemble possibility of temperatures, but the operational are the numbers you see there in the 90s on Wednesday and Thursday. So we are going to have a heat wave next week, and the heat will probably break a little later than this says. I say we probably have a heat wave either starting Tuesday or Wednesday, and probably lasting into Friday and maybe Saturday in parts of southern New England next week. So hopefully the dew point won't be extraordinary. You can usually tell the dew point by those low temperatures. When the low temperature is near 70, that means the dew point's probably near 70, especially as the front gets closer late next week. All right, passing 11 minutes, very busy work day. I'll leave you with some and more yesterday. Beautiful cloud watching kind of day yesterday, and there were actually a few raindrops, but no downpours. And then I'll show you what's blooming over in that garden, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. 11 o'clock, a better breeze for the young sailors this morning, coming in from pretty much the east. Wind in Worcester from the west. We've got convergence, we've got bubbling cumulus clouds. Planes taking off to the east, making a lot of noise over Boston. And we can see the tops of thunderstorms that are way up in Rockingham County, New Hampshire right now. Well, I'm not sure there are thunderstorms, but they're towering cumulonimbus. Pretty close to about 70 or 80 miles away, kind of obscured now, but you can really make out the bottom and the top of that cloud that's now forming actually offshore to the southeast of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So really interesting day. Feels great though, that breeze is refreshing. I'm headed south in a few minutes. Look at that big boy. It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Same clouds from the front yard, panning toward the south. There's another beauty right there. And then pan toward the east, not a cloud in the sky, subsidence over the water. And I wanted to show you this, I think it's called the snow cap, I'm not sure. But I brought these from Scituate when we moved 7 years ago. And they kind of spilled over, and they're growing right out of the bricks. Aren't these pretty? And they just come back from the dead every year. Beautiful, love these things. Just past 2. On the south end of Hingham, Massachusetts, we've got RW-. That means very light raindrop and a shower, sprinkle. Beautiful clouds that you can't see because of these heavy trees, which are hopefully done pollinating. A little better view. Pop-up cumulus. Poppy, yeah, Jet Peter, it's poppy. Granite outcroppings. Boulder perched. And there's a beautiful cumulus right behind those trees. Can we see it? Entering Hingham. Right on the edge of the sea breeze front. Wind on this side of the cloud from the west, wind on the other side of the cloud from the east. Wind blowing into itself causes it to go up. Updraft. Day 13 of this upper level low that's been here for 2 weeks. It's the last day. Try going around this corner, maybe one little bit better view. There it is. Pine Hills, and the air is not yellow. Nice. It's warmer down here. More blue sky. Singular, non-precipitating cumulus cloud. Dead ahead. Gorgeous Wednesday. Come on, no calling. Meanwhile, in the 02660, kind of gusty from the southwest here in the high spot in the middle of Cape Cod, near the exit formerly known as 9, now 78, not a cloud in the sky. That air is coming from the southwest, temperature in the mid-70s. And the dew point is in the upper 50s. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, there's a cloud. I see a cloud. What a day. And we have the moon too. Can we see the moon? Oh, steady, steady, steady. There it is.
That's what happens when you're in 7 times zoom and it's 230,000 miles away. It's a strawberry moon. But they get a bunch of strawberries in there. Maybe even local ones. And how about a Fallon's Pond fix? 1 cumulus congestus over, it looks like about Barnstable Harbor. Otherwise, sunshine and cirrus, beautiful Bass River beauty. Work is play, play is work. Came down to Cape Cod to work today, but the vehicle I was going to come in didn't work, so I had to switch vehicles, and one was at the shop, and the other one has to go to the shop, so I'm late, and it's 5 o'clock, and look what I managed to fit into the trunk of this thing. A whole one of these barrels, a whole lilac. Jeez, don't roll. Look, it's hopefully it'll get its shape back. Got a whole lilac into the trunk of this car. It's a big car. Oops. Now I'm making a mess. Well, I brought a sheet just in case. Lilac. Free the lilac from the trunk of the car. It's a big car. Old man sedan, I call it. Success stories from the Cape Cod Rescue Garden. Hosta, daylilies. The first bloom, the first day of daylilies, June 12th, for me in South Dennis. And an ornamental grass, which I put way too close to the steps, which I am now in the process of painting. Another really fun job. Yay. Fun jobs. Yay, beautiful dry air for paint drying. Another night. The moon is right there, right smack up high. Some months the moon runs low, other months it runs high. I like the high moons. Beautiful. Strawberry moon. Somebody's got strawberries. Kind of fun not knowing what happened in Weymouth during the day. I think there was supposed to be a shower. Here on Cape Cod, beautiful sunset, as always. Can't quite see it because of all the trees. And also interesting, the peony went by a few days ago in Weymouth, but here they are, superstars on Cape Cod right now, along with the iris. And the asparagus gone by. And believe it or not, I actually have some blueberries this year. All right, Piano Man, Captain Spacetime with the time-lapse play out. Talk to you tomorrow.